Hello, welcome. Today we're going to be looking at recursive functions. We're going to be looking at recursive functions in Python. Recursive functions are those functions that call themselves. Any function that calls itself is known as a recursive function. We have a function. We say that whenever you want to write a function, you must start with the keyword def. So the name of this function is factorial, and it's receiving an argument num. And it's telling us that if the number that you pass is less than or equal to 1, just return 1. But if it is more than 1, that you should do what? Else, result is equal to num times factorial, num minus 1. Factorial is a function that you're calling inside this solution. But at the same time, the name of this function that you're defining is also factorial. So that is what we call recursive function. Once you have a function, this is the name of this function, factorial. At the same time, inside the function, you have another function called the same name, factorial. Call it recursive function. So we say that recursive function is a function that calls itself. Example is factorials, where we have something like 3 factorial, which is actually supposed to be 3 times 2 times 1. Another example of recursive function is Fibonacci series, where we have a series like 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. If you look at this factorial, you see that after having 3, you have a lesser number, which is 2, then lesser number 1, multiplied together. So we want to write a program that can do this without you having to write it by yourself. So in the subsequent class, we're going to be looking how to generate this Fibonacci series, because if you look at this, you have 1, the next number is 2. You understand? You have 2, you have 3, 1, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, 2 plus 3 is 5, 2 plus 2, no, I think we should have 1 then 2, 1, 2, so that you have 1 plus 1, you have 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3, 5, 3 plus 5 is 5 plus 8, 13, upwards. So this is what we call Fibonacci series. So let's look at how do we generate a factorial, considering the fact that factorial is a recursive function. So here you have that def factorial. This is how you define a function, factorial. In brackets you put num, because you want to pass an argument. You want to be, so that whenever you want to call this function, you want to say factorial 4. That is 4 factorial, which is supposed to be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. It's supposed to be 24. 5 factorial is supposed to be 5 times 4. You see, it's reducing and all of them multiplying themselves. So you say if the number that you're passing is less than or equal to 1, just return 1. But else, result is equal to num, that very number. So if you're finding 4 factorial as the num, it's going to be that very number, which is 4, times num minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, which is 3. But you're not going to stop here. Since you're not going to stop here, you want to continue doing minus 1, num minus 1 down. You introduce the name of the same function, call it factorial, before you put this. So what is going to happen is that after writing the num that you pass, which is 4, it's going to do num minus 1, which is 3, and continue to do it until it gets to 1, because of this factorial that you passed here. So this is a recursive function. This is a function that continues to reduce the number that you passed, that continues to reduce the number that you passed by 1. So after doing that, return the result. So print out 4 factorial. If you're doing 4 factorial, it's going to be 4 factorial, and then you call the function factorial 4, it will do this. So if you call 4 factorial, if you put 4 here and here, you're going to get 24. But when you put 5 here and here, you're going to get 120. If you put 3 here and here, you're going to get 60. So this is an explanation of what this function is supposed to give us. So let's say you want to do 20 factorial. 20 factorial is going to be equal to 20 times 19 times 7, 18 times 17 times 16 times down there. So with this simple program, you can do 20 factorial very easy by putting 20 here and 20 here. It will still do the same thing. So that is a recursive function. Whenever you see the name of a function inside the same function, call it recursive function. A function that calls itself. It makes calculation that is iterative or repeated to be easy. So take note, recursive function is any function that calls itself. So whenever you don't want number to just multiply number minus 1, you want it to keep continuing to reduce by 1 and multiplying, you introduce the name of the function at the back and you call it recursive function. Function that calls itself. If you like this class, click on the subscribe button to subscribe, like and share our video. Thank you for listening.